Alright. Let's get this bread. Let's get this list. We're going to be ranking all New Vegas companions. We're going to be ranking them based on how good they are, like compositely, on how good their perk is. So, for instance, Raoul is not a very physically strong companion, but his perk is one of the strongest in the game, right? We're going to be ranking them based on how I like their I'll mention how I like their writing and their quest line, but it won't be necessary. We'll be considering how they do in combat, which I'm pretty sure I already said, and other miscellaneous benefits that you give, because they're like an umbrella term, right? So let's get into it. Eddie. We're also, okay, another pre-emphasis, I use the Veronica glitch in normal gameplay. So by default, she's the best companion. The Veronica glitch is an exploit in Veronica's dialogue loop. Once you get her 3 triggers activated, you can she'll run up to you and say, I need to talk to you about something, tell her not now, and then the option, what did you want to talk about earlier, will be permanently stuck in her dialogue box. Once you do this, you can dismiss her and she'll walk away to Hidden Valley. So let's say that you take her to Jacobstown, talk to Lily, and Lily says no, because you have Veronica. Use the option of her quest to say, I have better things to do, you'd better go alone, to make Veronica walk away. Recruit Lily, and then say to Veronica that you'd better go alone without recruiting Veronica. This dismisses the flag that Lily is a companion, but she'll still follow you. And Veronica will now follow you. So you can have both of them. You can do this for everyone, and then you can pick between Eddie or Boone. Obviously, incredibly powerful to do that. It kind of negates this kind of list, so I will be going mostly based off of experiences before I started using it, and how much each of them contribute while you have all of them. So it won't change the list much at all. Just know that if you do the Veronica glitch, every companion is S tier, and then Rex is A tier. Spoilers. And in my own personal time, I've installed Unlimited Companions so that I can get Rex as well. But we'll start with Eddie. Eddie, because you can always have him or Rex, is S tier. He's S tier purely because of the fact that you get him very early. He's decently strong early on. He doesn't have anything weighing him down, so he's 200 raw pounds of carry weight. His perk is insanely good. Enhanced Sensors is basically having Perception 10 without wasting those points. Both of his upgrades are significantly good. He becomes very powerful with the Followers upgrade, and he becomes incredibly durable with the Brotherhood update. To the point to where he's contributing against like Deathclaw level enemies with either one. Either in receiving or dishing out damage. Personally, I always go with the Followers because I like to have the best ending slideshow, and obviously the Followers are better. Like, I hope I don't have to explain that, but there's that. Get him incredibly early. It's very easy to have him. You need like 40 to 50 science or 60 something repair or parts, and the parts are incredibly easy to get. You can always have him paired with a humanoid, so there's like no reason not to have him. If we want to talk about how he synergizes with the other companions, he synergizes the most with Boone and Lily because of the increases to stealth and sniping. Not to mention that if you play the DLC, you can get Camaraderie, which upgrades Eddie further. If you do energy weapons, Eddie is the best companion in the game for giving you the bonus to crit and damage with laser weapons. But even if you don't make it that far into the DLC, you can, at any level, walk up to the canyon wreckage. So we'll say that you do this after you do My Kind of Town, right? Go in there, and without even fighting one single enemy, you can get all the way up to the first damaged Eyebot thing, upgrade that Eddie, and then the Eddie and the Mojave can repair 25% of your weapon a day. Or every so many hours in game. Incredibly powerful. Borderline broken. That you can have a free 25, basically a free weapon repair kit every few hours. in the base game before you make it to Mojave Outpost. Eddie is big strong. Boone. I think Boone, we'll see where he goes, but I think for now he's A tier. He's incredibly powerful. His hunting rifle is strong. The fact that he comes with an NCR First Recon Beret means he crits a lot in combat. Spotter is an incredibly powerful ability because it works even when you don't have your weapon drawn, so you can just look forward to see if there are any enemies blending in with the environment. It helps with sniping, obviously. Not to mention that he has dialogue options for certain things that help a lot. He can help you during You'll Know It When It Happens because he suggests what to do, although it's kind of obvious. Beyond that, it's pretty easy to get his trigger points because if you're not with the Legion, you're against them. That's kind of how it works. And, yeah. So most playthroughs, you're going to be able to have Boone. The only places that get aggressive with Boone with you are Legion places. You can still take him to the Brotherhood and Great Khans for some reason, but you can. But yeah, Boone is very powerful. He's one of the most damage per shot companions that you can have. I think he's only outdone by Arcade. But yeah, Boone is incredible. He also shoots very accurately from very long distance. So I think Arcade is better in close spaces where he can hit his opponent every time, but Boone is going to be consistently dealing the most damage. You can upgrade Boone, but it just basically changes his story and like gives him armor either way. Doesn't matter. His upgrade's the same. Like if you do the mean upgrade, I don't know why, but like okay. I guess I didn't talk about personality. Eddie's a robot. He doesn't have any personality in the base game. And we're not talking about the DLCs, like, explicit. That version of Eddie does have more personality, so I guess he's up here too. Boone does not have much personality. Kind of the point. I'm not saying that in a bad way. That's very much the point. I think Boone's story is pretty good. I like that he's bald. You don't get much bald representation. It's pretty cool. I'm not bald, but it's funny to take off his hat and it's bald. But yeah, I think Boone's pretty good all around. Veronica. So Veronica, oh, and I forgot to mention, Boone does start out with only a Merc Grunt outfit, and he's very squishy, but you can get NCR Trooper outfits everywhere. Just give him one of those, and he'll be pretty tanky. Veronica starts off pretty strong. She can 2 or 3 shot basically anything. And you can get Brotherhood armor for it pretty quickly by going to the Black Mountain pit with all the centaurs. This is pretty doable early on. Get the 2 Brotherhood paladins there and keep one of the sets of armor to give to her. She's going to be pretty beefy and pretty tanky. Especially if you have Eddie and Boone, you can go and get that armor with no risk to you. Helps you get into the Brotherhood early without doing the Ranger quest if you want to skip that early on and come back to it later. Hey, what's up, G? How's it going, my hermano? Veronica's perk is also nice because it gives you... What does it give you? What is it called? It gives you a workbench on the go. It's not necessary because Eddie has one too, but with Eddie you have to keep exiting and entering the whole dialogue wheel. So you can kind of do Veronica stuff faster. It's kind of weird. Veronica sucks at range though. She has a 10mm. Early on, that's enough. But if you only have Veronica, you have to give her a better weapon. Veronica is tagged in energy weapons, and Veronica annihilates with a Gauss rifle. So yeah, late game with Brotherhood and a Gauss rifle, Veronica's probably the most powerful companion. Not to mention she can wear Brotherhood armor, which speeds up how fast you can get her power armor. All the companions can wear power armor, but you can get Brotherhood armor the fastest. She's advantageous in that way. And then you can also enhance her unarmed even further with the Kozil's Rebel perk. Or you can make her bulkier with the Bonds of Steel perk. I think you should always make Veronica leave the Brotherhood. The New Vegas Brotherhood is like really bad, and they're like a bunch of cringe lords either way. Like, I think, I know it's kind of weird to say it, but like Brotherhood's kind of explicitly written to only work out in the NCR ending. It's kind of the whole point. But yeah. Personally, I think Kozil's Rebel is really good. If you do the DLC and you give her Elijah's Last Words, giving her a super sledge is really strong too. She's one of the only companions that can excel with 3 types of weapons, which is really good. I'm going to call her the best because of the companion glitch, and because she has the most late game potential. But Eddie is still better. Cass. So spoilers, Cass is probably the worst human companion. Whiskey Rose is actually really good when you have the whole gang. Whiskey Rose is not worth sacrificing the other companions for having it, though. A few DT and not suffering addictions to alcohol, like the penalties, is kind of nice. But it doesn't affect Kim's, so you'll still get addicted to Psycho, right? She has the worst base game weapon. She's very powerful at close range, but she can't hit anything when she's more than 5 feet away. And as opposed to Veronica, who you can upgrade and give some pretty strong stuff, Cass is kind of stuck. Because, I don't know. I guess you can give her a riot shotgun eventually, but getting a really good condition riot shotgun and actually maintaining the ammo just for Cass is a little annoying. She starts off with no armor too, so you have to get her armor, and it's not as easy as finding Trooper armor or Brotherhood armor. Her perks are actually pretty good. The peaceful option is bugged and doesn't work, but it affects the ending. Oh, I forgot to mention that Veronica also has probably the best personality of the companions, aside from Arcade. But Cass can be a little annoying. You can almost feel how proud the writers were of how cool she is, you know, when she says fuck and long dick. You know, she's the only she's the only companion that gets 2 ending slides. You know, besides Eddie, but that's like a DLC. I don't know. I do think Whiskey Rose is incredibly powerful when you have multiple companions, like you're using the Veronica glitch, but outside of that, it's not worth it. Because addiction isn't that bad anyways. Interactions-wise, it's really annoying to get her. And then beyond that, she doesn't do anything for you. There's like no special interaction, like, I don't know, there's no thing during you'll know it when it happens, there's no getting you into the Brotherhood base, there's no helping the doctor with PTSD, you know, there's nothing like that, so Cass is kind of the worst. Next is Arcade, who's a very strong contender for the best. Starts off incredibly squishy, just like most of them. His perk is incredibly powerful. It boosts the amount of health you get from stim packs, which is always nice. You can use him to get through some medical-related quests, I think. Not to mention that he's not that hard to get, because if you pace the game right, by the time you get to Freeside, you have the speech to get him, or you have the resources to become a member of the followers, basically. Arcade is a little detrimental because I think he's the easiest to piss off and make like not follow you. I know Raul and Lily basically have no limiters. Boone's are NCR related, Legion related, Veronica's Brotherhood related, and Cass is Karma related. But Arcade has several moments where if you say the wrong thing, he'll just leave you forever. Not that hard. Because, like, it's not that hard to read the dialogue and realize that you're being an asshole, but, like, whatever. His Plasma Defender is, like, one of the stronger weapons. It just sucks at a range. Even then, it's not that bad. But, yeah, getting him good armor can be a hassle. And then, yeah. Pretty good, pretty solid. Takes longer to get than Boone or Veronica. About as long as Cass, but more worth it. Next is Rex. Rex is, in all honesty, really good. Like, if we were just talking... If these were all in a vacuum, right, of course he'd be up here. He's tanky enough to take, like, several hits from a Deathclaw. Even, like, just in the levels of 20s, you know, like, or so. His upgrades are pretty good. The good ending is... giving him the, Ray's Brain. That's the best ending, pretty much. And then... from there, he's just incredibly strong. He's incredibly fast, even without Violetta's brain. He'll just, like, track down, like, almost any enemy and just go run and kill them for you. Like, as long as the enemy don't kill him, you can basically just get free experience for traveling around with him. He'll just run off and do that. The downside is that he's not Eddie. And you have to give up Eddie to have him. It's not worth it. But just like Eddie, he's a free 200 pounds of carry weight, which is nice. Next up is Raul. And Raul, we can go ahead and get rid of this because we don't need it. Raul is very powerful because of his perk. His perk gives him... what is it? His perk gives him the ability... What is it? His perk is regular maintenance, which slows the decay of your weapons and armors by 50%. This negates built to destroy. It can usually negate... I mean, it does. It negates high condition weapon ammo. It negates built to destroy. It negates how much more damage you'll be taking if you're doing like a melee or unarmed build by getting close. It's incredibly powerful. The downside is he's weak. His pistol doesn't do hardly any damage. He's kind of not accurate with it either. For some reason, Raul also has like no nerve compared to everyone else and will actually like cower and run away if he gets injured. Which is like, maybe that's a bug because I used the Veronica glitch, but like no one else has ever done that and Raul has. But yeah, regular maintenance is just so good. Honestly, it's that good. And if you give him old Vicaro, how fast he starts shooting. If you give him something like Medicine Stick or the Mysterious Magnum, Raul becomes a really good, really strong companion. But you have to put in way more work for him. There's also the fact that going to Nellis is usually more of a late game thing, like the last 10 hours of like a 40 to 50 hour run for me. So I usually just don't upgrade him for very long, and he sucks for longer. Raul also... like, pretty unconditionally has, like, the most steep requirements for getting him out of anyone, like, explicitly. You have to go to Death Mountain, or not Death Mountain, Black Mountain. And then from there, you have to fight through all the Super Mutants, which you can do by going through Hidden Valley, which is easier, but... because you're not supposed to go to Black Mountain early, it almost feels like they want you to circle around when you can handle the Deathclaws on the road to Sloan. But once you have 2 companions, you can probably go free Raul. You just need like good armor and a good weapon, but it's not impossible. Then on the other hand, you have Lily, who I think is the exact opposite of Raul. I don't think Stealth Girl is that good. Obviously, if you use a Stealth Boy, you're going to notice it, but how often do you use Stealth Boys? Like, I don't use Stealth Boys very often, you know? Not often enough to feel it. And so I think it's just kind of wasted. However, while Stealth Girl isn't really that good, she is the only companion in the game with a fully automatic weapon that never runs out. That alone is insanely powerful. And the only reason that she's not at the best companion is because you can't give her armor. That was, I think, a very intentional decision, was to make it so that all the companions who you could upgrade and give an automatic weapon to, it had to be given, so you had to run out the ammo. If Lily's damage threshold could be increased, she would literally be unstoppable. But yeah, Lily has the best weapon in the game. but it's counteracted by the fact that she's not the best in combat because of her low damage threshold. She does have insane health to make up for it, though, but it's whatever. You're also not likely to go to Jacobstown until late game anyways. No main story quest forces you to go to Jacobstown. You have to go out of your way to go to Jacobstown, so you probably won't end up there. But granted, it's not as hard as getting to Black Mountain, or at least specifically to Free Raoul. So yeah. This would be my list. I guess I forgot to neglect some of the character writing. Personally, I love all of them, so I don't really think there's much point in going over it. Cass is a little cringy sometimes. I don't know, but other than that, they're all fine. In particular, I think Raoul is especially funny. I think the best endings are probably Followers for Eddie, Followers for Veronica, Making Peace with Boone, Followers for Arcade, Making Her Take Her Medicine, The Old Vaquero, and then Ray's Brain and Being Peaceful. Yeah. I'm generic, and I think the best option is probably to be nice to these people. Would you believe it? Nah, Rex. If you're sticking without the companion thing, Rex is better than Cass. But yeah, this would be my thing. So yeah. This would be my tier list. I have no idea how to rebalance this and make them all equal. I think if they can die, you can't have it be any order other than this. It's kind of unfortunate. I think maybe making it so that some of them can't wear power armor would kind of help make Arcade feel better. If Arcade could wear power armor, because it makes sense, but like maybe not Boone or Raoul. But then that just kind of makes Veronica even more top-sided, so I don't know. The only thing I can think of is maybe Fallout 2 companion system, where you can have all of them, but maybe some of them are made way weaker as a consequence. I don't know. I think Cass just needs a better default weapon, honestly. But that's my companion tier list. But I do usually use the Veronica glitch, and I have started using Unlimited Companions mod. Brotherhood gear and a Gauss rifle, Ranger combat armor, and the Gobi rifle, Remnants armor, and Pew Pew, Old Vaquero outfit with medicine stick, giving her the C-57 Avenger, and giving her Dinner Bell, giving them all whatever best armor you have, with the Ray's Brain and the Followers offense upgrade. They're all unstoppable. They can take down Deathclaws like easily in the late game. But yeah, that's my list. Streamed it on Twitch, that's Nick is a Neat. I tweet on Twitter, that's Nick is a Neat. I upload here, that's Nick is a Neat. And I have a VOD channel. Look at this. We did permadeath. We went through the whole game, and I didn't die. Turns out energy weapons are overpowered. But yeah. I didn't put DLC on here because it's okay. You just have them for like 20 minutes in a fixed linear line, and then you can never have them again. So I don't know why I would include them. Joshua Graham is obviously the strongest DLC companion. He's like incredibly powerful for no reason. I mean, it makes sense, but like Graham is incredibly powerful. Best companion perk from the DLC is probably still Eddie. In Dead Money, the best companion is Dean, because he has ammo that he never runs out of. Same for Follows Chalk. There are no companions in Old World Blues. And then Eddie is good. Yeah. Alright. See ya.